Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday live stream. So today, mostly it's going to be an easy day. We're going to do a lot of Q&A at the very end. But before we get into that, I want to talk about Bluwhale AI. I want to talk about Bitcoin, dogs, and memes. And we're talking about this, what we talked about yesterday, the meme super cycle, and what it all means. And then we'll get into the Q&A. So right now, queue up all your questions as we go into it. So first things first. This project, and to be fair, let's be honest. I'm invested in this project called Bluwhale. So I'm super biased. Just know that. Take that with a grain of salt. But we did a deep dive on this about a month and a half ago or so. I didn't really talk about it on the channel because it just wasn't the right time. The sentiment was low. People were kind of down the dumps. And now, of course, things are picking up. So I think that AI is going to be a monstrous narrative going further into this bull run. And with Bluwhale AI, I mean, they already have 270 million wallets, and they haven't even launched. This is what the big thing is. And what I did was I brought back on Han Jin, who is the co-founder. It's him and Adam Rawle. And Han, he's got a engineering degree from Berkeley. He's been big into AI. Also did with Lucid VR. And what I did was I just brought him back just to talk about Bluwhale and give us an update about what's going on. Because right now, and I think this is the future, you can have a node on your phone because all the computational power that you need are right now on Androids and iPhone devices. So we're going to show you how to do that. And if you want to get into it, there's a deep dive video. But I think this is going to be a pretty big play. And then also, this one got me interested because, let me wipe this out. You see this little ticker that's scrolling along? I just found it interesting that you had a bunch of investors like the big guys like SBI Holdings. You had Animoca Brands, which if you've done anything with Web3, it all goes through Animoca Brands. Do your research on that one. That's just the truth. And then also Cardano and Swissborg. So I was kind of interested in this. So I brought Han back in. This is about a 7-8 minute interview. So just take a listen, then we'll jump back and we'll talk about these dog go to moon, what it means for a community and meme coins and why. I mean, even Michael Saylor is big into ordinals. So let's just jump right into this piece.
So, as a refresher, Bluwhale is Web3's intelligence layer. And what we are trying to do is train AI so that they understand your profile, your preferences, your data, and matches you to the right enterprises. I like to joke around and make fun of it as saying it's like Tinder by matching a guy with a girl and then let the guy message the girl. It's the same with enterprise. So we match the enterprise with the individual, and then the enterprise can message you. If they do, you get 90% of the spending of the marketing or the capital that they're spending in order to reach you. And we make sure that, you guys actually got connected. And hopefully, right. After that, many years you guys get married and stuff like that. But
yeah, exactly. So like when we talked about it, I compared it to what Facebook could have been if they would have been honest, because they've taken a lot of revenue and they don't really share it with anybody. They just take in advertisers, they take in institutions, they take that money and they make this massive corporation. With Bluwhale, it's the exact opposite. You guys take a lot of funds in to match them up to people that these enterprises actually want to talk to. So on that part, it makes sense. And there's a lot of things you guys have been going for and improving on. It looks like a roundtable discussion. So you got Miles Dutcher over there, you've got Alex Fossil from Swissborg, you've got Nick here from Coin Bureau. What were you guys talking about at this point? And again, just bring us up to speed, like what's happened in the last 30, 45 days.
For sure. So in order to further decentralize our AI network, right, we thought about what's the next step for us to be more scalable, a better AI layer in the future, and being able to contribute or access resources when it comes to data, storage, and compute. Our idea was like, hey, there might be a way, as individuals already in your platform, to give them an opportunity to leverage their smartphones to contribute into our AI network. Now, why we met with the guys at Token is because they had a lot of questions. Naturally, right, when you are going into something like what we call the world's first mobile nodes that we're going to put on your smartphone, have you earn tokens or rewards by having it in your pocket. People get curious. And so we had a good discussion. A lot of tough questions got thrown at me, but we launched, like the node sale that you just showed, the private sale. We launched about a week ago, and we actually now in this week closing off the private sale as we sold out our tier 1 and tier 2s, and now working our way through the tier 3s. But ultimately, what it is like if we put a node on your smartphone in the future, we should be able to unlock not just data verification capabilities, data contribution capabilities, but also of future devices, storage and computing power that could be contributed into the network.
Yeah, and this is the part that got me when I was doing the deep dive video, which everybody who's watching this video, there's a link in the description for the deep dive on our secondary channel, Dan Degen. What you talked about was taking this nodes, and I said I've been into nodes, I understand them. Some are complex, some are very simple, but to do one on the mobile device was very interesting to me. So walk us through this. So let me walk you through that. So here's how to get a node on your phone to earn Bluwhale tokens in 2 simple steps. You notice that there is 2 options here: start today and buy nodes. Let's back up actually, because you want to do this all on your phone. So the easiest way is just to go to a browser and type in Bluwhale, BLUWHALE.com. Then it's going to pop up, start today and buy nodes. We're going to click on start today. And you'll notice here that you can do with a wallet, or you can put in your email. Email is just way easier. You can do a wallet, but I just want to show you the easiest way to do this. So I'm going to put in my email here, and voila, hit submit and done. And it'll register me to sign up for Bluwhale. So it's going to log me in. Now I have the option to claim my profile. You don't have to do this, but we're here. Let's just do it. So we're going to click on claim my profile, and you got options. You can do Twitter, you can do Telegram, continue as a guest, or just start with Google. We just did that for our email, so let's just do that. So I'm going to continue with Google. Either way you want to do it. And I'm just going to pick my Gmail address, my Google address, which is dandigitalsnews@gmail. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to log me in, and it's going to give me the profile, and then essentially that first step is done. Now what we want to do is do the second step. Let's buy a node. So we're going to click on buy nodes, same website, and we'll scroll down real quick, and it'll say connect to wallet. So again, whatever you want to do, I've got MetaMask. So I'm just going to use MetaMask, just the easiest one for me, even though I'm not a big fan of it, but whatever. So I'm going to click on allow, and it's going to say, you want to connect to the site? Yes, I do. Connect. And voila, we're essentially done. If we want to, we can buy a node. Now, going back, just so you know, you might get this message. You want to switch to Arbitrum 1 because the Bluwhale tokens are on Arbitrum. So I'm going to switch over, and now I can buy this with ETH if I want to. And you'll notice here that there's different tiers that we have. And right now we're at tier 5. It used to be 1 and 2, but good news, I talked to Han, and we're going to be able to give you guys a pretty big discount if you want to start up a node. And this is how you would do it. And that's the whole process. But after you do that, I'm going to let Han tell you when and how to activate the nodes on the Bluwhale node app. So let's take a listen to Han.
After you purchase the node and the node sale is over in December, we will be issuing all the licenses into your wallet. And so because there's an NFT in your wallet, we recognize that once you connect to your profile, and then once you can click here on the node, and then you can operate it from your smartphone. That's exactly right.
I got you. Click the act book like we just saw.
That's exactly right. And then what we thought was the most important critical thing about operating nodes to consumers, not like downloading a software, checking if the hardware requirements are met. All they cared about is like how simple it is for me to track how much I'm earning on a daily basis.
Right.
When am I break even, and how can I drag in my friends to have fun with me together? I thought those are the 3 main points. 90% of the nodes that are being sold right now don't have it.
No, exactly. So that would be this last part here, because that also threw me for a loop. I didn't understand. I understand the node operation on the mobile devices. I didn't understand what this is about your friends. So you're telling me that we can start to invite our friends. What is the advantage of having my friends, my users, my subscribers, or anybody else who has their own node to bring all these people in? What's the advantage of doing that?
For sure. So our belief about building products or technology in Web3 is that it has to be inherently social, right? Now, The benefit of inviting your friends here, as you can see here, the more friends you invite, the more earnings you guys make together as a community.
All right. So everybody works together to make more. I like that.
That's right. You're getting a booster by bringing in more people that are operating nodes at the same time. And to go a little bit more into the details of our nodes, is we have two categories of nodes. We have the nodes that are being sold right now. It's called the master nodes. The master nodes holders are the only ones that can create their communities. Okay. After the master node sale is closed in December, we will then open up an infinite node sale of common nodes. The difference between common nodes is they can only follow communities. Master nodes can follow master nodes. Master nodes can have common nodes follow them, but the common nodes guys after the sale will not be able to create their own community. They also have only 1/10 of the token emission that the master node holders have. You can create your community to run the nodes together and earn more capital together. But in the future, as common node holders are joining your community, or maybe even token holders of Bluwhale A.I, there will be more and more activities being possible across different layers of the social spectrum. It's like an onion that you start peeling apart, because each of those worlds will have a different functionality.
Got it. Well, that's a lot to digest. So everybody, I'm going to recommend that you watch the video again, but more importantly, I'd like you to watch the deep dive video to understand exactly what Bluwhale is trying to do. That was a very simplified explanation. In the deep dive, we go a little bit deeper, but we can go even deeper than that. But I would stress everybody, watch that video, links in the description. If you'd like to get into the node sales, there's a, first watch the video, see if this is something for you, not financial advice, and come back here and go, yes, I'll be a part of that master node, because like Han just talked about, if you want to invite your friends and bring everybody else in, this is going to be only at the master node level.
Funny story, right? I came back from Token. We were sitting on the whitelist at around 1,200 registered whitelist members.
Yeah.
By the end of the week, one day before our launch on Monday, September 30th, we had more than 6,000 people signed up.
Yeah, I can see why. Because I remember that first day, like I logged in, I'm like, what happened to my tier 1? That's tier 2 now. So
I tried to buy a tier 1 too. and and I wanted to do the honest way, which is like, take my wallet, connect to the platform, buy it like someone that signed up for the whitelist, which I did. Couldn't get one after it was gone after a minute.
Yeah, these things are going fast. All right, buddy. So Han, I don't want to take too much of your time. Thanks so much for stopping by again. We appreciate it. Everybody, links in the description, video, node sales, everything else. Han, I'll have to have you back when things start really cooking up.
I appreciate having me.
All right. So yeah, thanks Han for kind of bringing us up to speed. So again, if you guys would like to go in there now, just again, transparent, I've invested in this. I've also, I have 2 nodes right now. So we'll see how it actually works out. And just like Han was talking about, right now I think they're on tier, well, it says tier 3, but I know they're at actually tier 5. If you would be so lucky, I talked to Han, I go, hey, can you guys give my subscribers a discount? He said, sure. We'll get you guys in at around tier 3, and we'll give you a 10% off of that. So if you are interested in that, there's a link in the description. There's a Bluwhale node whitelist. You can fill out and I asked for your EVM compatible wallet address. That's what's going to whitelist you, and then your email as well. And if you get in for the first 50 people, then they'll have the discount for those node operators that can be placed on your phone, just like we talked about. Again, links in the description. You can check that out. Thanks again, Han, for coming on. Now, let's move off into dog go to moon. That is the question. Dog go to moon. So, yeah, first of all, I know we talked about meme coins yesterday. And one of the big things I think that's pretty big on meme coins is that there's no unlocks for most of them, not all of them. But you see what, like with this one, Dog Go to Moon. And just as a reminder, Dog Go to Moon is ranked number 149, and it came out of nowhere. And it's only been around since April 26th. Hold on one second. Okay. Sorry about the siren in the background. But that's not a very long time and I will tell you right now, with the community it's growing, it'll be the top 100 soon enough. So circling spike, max supply, total supply, all the same. And the question you might have is, what is this dog go to moon? First of all, I linked this in the description to CoinGecko, which gives you the websites, gives you the contract address and everything else that you probably need. But we talked about this yesterday, about this meme coin super cycle. I know it sounds ridiculous. You can make fun of me all you want to, but I remember when NFTs sound ridiculous and those went off like crazy in the last bull run. I think meme coins are going to be doing the same thing. Now, do they have massive utility and they're fantastic and they're going to change the world? No, they're not. So the thing you have to understand is, first of all, watch this video. This is from Murad Mawadef. And the reason why I have dog go to moon is because I was one of the first, well, not one of the first, I was actually kind of late to this. I bought a couple rune stones, which are ordinals, or excuse me, are runes on the Bitcoin blockchain. And the thing that blew me away about this is because yesterday I talked about because somebody asked me a question. They go, Rob, do you have any runes or any dog go to the moon? And I go, yeah. I just said this yesterday. I said, yeah, I have some. They came out of nowhere because I bought these two, essentially NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain. And from just that little snippet, like 20 seconds, this guy Vincent, I don't know who Vincent is, but he posted this on Twitter or on X, and there was 600 likes, 217 reposts, and 45 comments. I got to tell you, like, I have 177,000 subs on my X account. Vincent here's got like, I want to say like 13,000, but I don't get 217 reposts. I don't get 600 likes for all of my comments. So when I took a look at this, I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I just asked the question, I go, is this really a story? Because I thought I talked about this a long time ago. And Vincent says, yeah, if you mention dog, the community wants to support you. So if you're looking at things like of where things will go, and this would actually go in line, just watch this video. I linked this in the description for the meme coin super cycle. I know, again, sounds ridiculous, but look at how NFTs did. It just blew me away. So there was that piece. And the question you might have is, what are runes and what are ordinals? I did a quick video. It's almost a little under 6 minutes. And I talk about what the runes protocol is, what ordinals are, and how it's going to change Bitcoin forever. And this was done almost 7 months ago. And before you start laughing, go, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Do you guys know this guy named Michael Saylor? I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's pretty big into Bitcoin. And he's on board with ordinals. And he wants to use that for digital ID. So I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, well, that's strange. Why would he do that? It's because of what ordinals and runes can actually do when they're built on it. So first of all, the difference between ordinals and runes. Ordinals is a system for assigning a unique number to each Satoshi, smallest unit of Bitcoin. This allows users to inscribe data onto individual Satoshis, creating a NFT or a digital ID as well. Runes is almost the same thing, but a little different. A protocol for creating and managing fungible tokens on Bitcoin. Fungible. Runes are built on top of ordinals and are interchangeable, just like Bitcoin itself. So again, I don't know if you've heard of Michael Saylor, but he seems to have some pretty good ideas about Bitcoin and where things are going. And I know a lot of you really, really like Bitcoin. And I know a lot of you really listen to Michael Saylor. I do too. He's a pretty smart guy. Done pretty well for MicroStrategy. He's actually beaten every single company in the S&P 500 over the last year. So when I talk about these things, I don't do this to waste my breath. I do this because I think this could be something that you might want to be interested in. Do your own research and go from there. But having said all that, this part right here where I said, and this is all I said, is this really a story? I thought I talked about this a long time ago. Vince just said, yeah, I've mentioned dog, the community wants to support you, which is great. I love that. Just that one sentence, being behind a community, especially a community which is a cult, and if you understand about how big cults are, it's worked out pretty well for Apple. It's worked out pretty well for CrossFit. It's worked out pretty well for a lot of companies, and they are cults. And that's what you want to see, actually. But the downside to those is stuff like this. I got a message from, I don't know who this person is, 420 Dog. You're a prick for writing that publicly about Vincent, and Dog suggests you delete it. So you're going to see a lot of this. Like when you are playing with fire, and that's what these communities are, you're going to get hate, you're going to get love, you're going to get it back and forth because it is somewhat cultish. And that's just the truth. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section. That's it for today. So look, like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now, if you want to go over do a little Q&A, we'll go over all these questions and go from there. I see there's a lot. So let's hit it up. It's got a good question. This is a good question. The first term after a presidential election is always the worst. How far into 2025 will this bull run last? It's a weird situation we have here. Well, actually, it's really not. Because going back into the 80s, you had Ronald Reagan and Bush Sr., who was the vice president. And then the next election, it was Bush Sr. who won it, even though he was in the White House essentially for 8 years. And they had a little bit of turmoil, but it wasn't bad time. And that would kind of be like if you want to extrapolate that to, say, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And now, so we've got a vice president who could just become the president, which has happened many, many times. This is most recent. But also, we've got a former president who's running to be president again. I don't know how many times that's actually happened, but you kind of know that they have the lay of the land. I think they both know what their screw-ups are, hopefully, and how to fix those things. So I'm not for sure how that's going to act. But I will tell you, though, without quantitative easing and a massive amount of money printing, it's going to be very difficult for our economy to stay afloat. So I'm not for sure about that one, but we'll see. And then, of course, that all comes down to presidential elections, which I think we're only like 18 or 17 days away. Thank God. I'd like to stop talking about, I don't care who wins. I mean, we all want our person to win, right? But whoever wins, I'm an American, and I believe that you should support the president that is chosen and move from there. You give me somebody, you give me the rules, okay, I'll play within the confines of those rules and we'll go forward. If you give me a rules for somebody else, okay, I know the rules now, let's just go forward. I think it's the same thing with the traditional markets. They just want to know who it is so they can know how they're going to play the game. Meme says, this is a good statement. We need a kind of seed phrase for identifying callers, one that changes like the authenticator code, so we can be sure the voice on the other end of the phone is the person you know and not AI. And I think that's a pretty good comment, especially if you watch the video on Beardy. We did that a couple of weeks ago, where Beardy essentially got scammed by a person who sounded like a public figure on the phone because they used direct AI in real time to answer questions. It's crazy. But I like that suggestion. But until that time comes, I want everybody to, and we talked about this on the video. If you are doing some kind of like transaction, especially like somebody calls you like, I was kidnapped, and it's your wife or your kids or something like that on the phone, or the bank calls you, or it's somebody that you know, and like, hey, I need a loan for this or this or this. Before you even do anything, just follow the rules, which everything's a scam until proven otherwise. And then what I want you to do is to ask that person on the end of the phone, hey, we talked about this yesterday. What were we talking about? Or, hey, remember that time that we went here and we did this thing that only you and the other person would know? It will help you from getting pretty much Ponzi. Daniel says, what's your cut, Rob? So we talked about Bluwhale, and I don't have a cut, but I'm an early investor. See, they don't pay me to come on. I actually asked Han, I go, I need you to come back because a lot of these things doesn't make sense. I need you to update us, and we go from there. But like I said twice, and I'll say it for a third time, I'm an early investor. So I want it to do quite well. So I'm super biased. If you don't want to invest into it, don't invest into it. But don't, and say, Rob got paid a bunch of money and he's dumping on us. It's not the case. Although I will tell you, And as a reminder, even in traditional equities and stocks, when you invest into stocks, you know at some point you're going to get dumped on, right? People are going to sell. And that could be the CEO. That could be the CFO. That could be anybody. That could be people who are talking about, Tesla is going to be the greatest stock of all time. All right. So you buy into that, and all of a sudden it drops like 5%, even though there was a massively positive display for the robo-taxi, Optimus, the artificial intelligence robot, and then also that bust that looked like a toaster, personally. So anyhow, you go through that, and you're like, hey, you said that Tesla's going to be awesome, and now everybody's dumping on me. They're selling on me. Happens everywhere. So I'm just telling you, that's just how it is. So when people say, you're dumping on me, Rob, yes. If I'm selling, like what I did 2 days ago, yes, I did. That's just the game. All right. Let's see. Exactly. Rob is not your friend. He'll dump on you. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. So when we talk about this, everybody thinks that, like the people that are doing these videos or the people that are in social, like they have your best interest at heart. They don't. They don't. They're here to make a bunch of money. And that's really what it comes down to. Now, it's your job, because you could just as easily dump on me, right? I am dollar cost averaging Bitcoin every single day still. So if you're selling Bitcoin or whatever else, and I'm buying it, you're doing the same thing. Now, you can look at it that way, or some people say, Rob, you shouldn't be so negative. You should say it like this. Okay, we can say it like this. I bought Bitcoin and other altcoins early when they were cheaper, so I could keep that company afloat, and they could hire new developers and do great things with marketing and do things with collaborations, and they can get new companies in. And I supported that. And then now, as time has come on, I get the fruits of my labor they did all that work. And now I sell to other people who want to pick up that mantle. So either way you want to look at it is fine with me. Yeah. Zazowick says, this game is player versus player. When they tell you to buy, it's going to moon, they are slowly selling. Yeah. Not everybody. I will tell you this. There's a link in the description where I'm talking about when I'm going to sell 80% of all my crypto. And it's a bunch of different indicators. Pi cycle top, MVRV score, RSI, fear and greed index, all this different stuff. Oh, and the time and risk bands, and a couple other different ones. And if you look at those, you'll know exactly when I'm going to sell. On top of that, the day that I sell, and it won't be like one day. It'll be over a little bit of time. Not that much, though. I want to say less than 3 weeks. I'll come out there and say, hey, I sold another 20%, just so you guys know. Here's the news. Then maybe like 4 or 5 days later, hey, I sold another 30%. Here's the news. And then, hey, I sold 80% and I'm stepping down, and good luck with everything. See you in the bear market. That's it. Matt, don't turn into James, a dodgy secondhand car salesman. James has got a lot of great information. I don't know why people they're negative on him. I think it's because he talks about the things that are in the ecosystem of Solana. Let's be honest, he's somewhat bullish on Solana. I think he's got good data. But I always take a look at it and I go, for everybody that's out there, I don't trust anybody, right? Even if my mom had a YouTube channel, I'm like, what is she trying to sell me? So with this one, I just kind of take it and go, well, this is good, that's not good. And I kind of go from there. Yeah. That used car called Soul. Hey, man, I got Soul. I got more Soul than I can control. But I got also Sui and Cardano and Avalanche. And I got some Ethereum. And I'm pretty sure I mixed some other, Chainlink and stuff like that. But a host of other different altcoins. But yeah, I mean, people think that Soul is either going to go massively huge in this market, or it's going to collapse because of, name your issue. It's gone down. It's still in beta. Fire Dancer is going to come and go. You have a lot of bots, annual inflation, whatever. And then some people will say, but over here, it's super fast. A lot of people are adopting it. Even PayPal. PayPal picked two different layer one solutions, Ethereum and Solana, for their PYUSD stablecoin. That's a pretty big endorsement. And then whatever else is going on. So I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do. That's why I own different ones. Let's see. People. Devil Low says, people hate on James because he doesn't explicitly tell everybody he's biased like you do, but he is. He is. Let's be honest. He is. James is a little biased on Solana. But who is, but if you, that's just it about communities, right? Like, there's a reason, like, I got to be honest with you. Apple phones kind of suck. I mean, they're good for their technology, but it's like every year they just roll out essentially a nicer camera. But yet people buy those phones like crazy. That's because they got that cultish status. So yeah. Biased or paid? I don't get paid, because if I get paid, I have to disclose it. But biased? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen all the different cryptos that I own. Let me show you. Let's see. Dan. Let me get this portfolio out. I really should update this, but so that's my portfolio. Bitcoin is the biggest because it's going to be around forever, I think. Ethereum, Sol, now Sui. Also, don't forget Sui. Near, Cardano, AVAX, Link, Stacks, another layer 2 solution. I need to also add Core, another layer 2 solution on Bitcoin. Arbitrum, Immutable X, Injectable, Cosmos, Polygon, and 67 other ones, other cryptos. That seems like a lot. And was it irresponsible? Nah. This is all the stuff that I've been accumulating since 2022. So yeah, actually I've been investing since 2018. Rick James is a crypto channel. I think he passed away, unfortunately. Rick James. Thanks, Seth. I appreciate it. Daniel says, everyone should be mostly in Solana. It's the meme coin haven. And this is the meme coin super cycle. It's not a bad statement. And I know before you're like, well, meme coins, there's no utility. Absolutely, there's not utility. But it is where things are going. Did NFTs have utility? They didn't. So, like, you have to remember, and Nick had a good example of this. It was survivorship bias, and he talked about this on Twitter. And it was a plane, and there's all these different little red dots. And he says you have to understand that the people that make the most money on meme coins are the exception, not the rule. And it's the same thing with survivorship bias. And he took this plane, and all these red dots were where you were likely to die in an accident or in a plane crash. And it was like there's just one space where there's a high probability of you actually living. And he goes, that's essentially the meme coin traders. I was like, damn, that's pretty true. So it's all gambling, just if you know that. That's the big thing. Yeah, Fupi's right. Meme coins of this cycle's NFTs. And like, I still think AI is going to be a pretty big player in the sector. That's why, like, I own Aether, AETHIR. We did a deep dive over on the second channel, Dan Degen. IO.net, going to be pretty big, I think. Render, which is based on Solana, again, probably do well just for the AI narrative. And then we just talked about Bluwhale, essentially being able to monetize your wallet and have people contact you. Sounds like a pretty good deal. We'll see. We will see. Yeah. Todd Key says there are also meme coins on Tron, AVAX, and Cardano. Like the Cardano one, I think would be SNEC. I still own some of that. AVAX, yeah, probably do well. I don't know. Tron, I think Tron is the meme coin. Nah, I'm just kidding. So, and then also on Base, I mean, if you think that Ethereum Layer 2 Base from Coinbase, which doesn't have a token, but it has this one called Brett and a couple other ones are the future, then maybe look into that. I don't know. Big ego. Triple Dad, Tiptoe Dad. Thanks for the content. Thank you for showing up on a Sunday. Excuse me. Tomato coin is the best meme coin in Cardano, so I've been told. If you remember, we have a stake pool in Cardano going now, I think 3 years now, doing pretty good. Ranking, I think, the top 250. Not bad. But if you're looking to stake your Cardano, links in the description. But we did a meme coin called Tomato Coin, and I just gave it out to a bunch of my delegates. So I thought it was just a joke. Maybe that'll pick up. Who knows? If you still got Tomato Coin, you are one of the OGs. Remember, bull runs over by April. Rob is terrified to pick a side for president. Why do I even do it? Why even put myself out there? Then maybe in the next video I can talk about how Christianity and Muslims and which one is better there. I mean, why even do that? Is this a channel that's a presidential elect channel? Geopolitics? No. We talk about macro and stuff like that. What's the point? In the end of it, Dick, I'll tell you that in the long run, who gets voted in for president isn't, I think, as big of a deal as who's getting voted in for the Senate and the House of Representatives. If you have it all the way down Republican, it's not going to be great. You're going to get a lot of bills that are going to get ramroded through that are not in the best interest of everybody. Inversely, if you do the same thing for Democrats, it's the same thing. You want some type of balanced House or Senate or Congress, I should say, so you can get the maximum best bills that are actually passed. So you get a president in there that you don't like, whatever. I wasn't a big fan of George Bush Sr. or George Bush Jr., and he seemed to be reasonable, even though he put us into massive amount of wars. But he didn't actually collapse the entire country like everybody said he was going to do. And I wasn't a big fan of Bill Clinton either. I thought he was horrible. But during that time, I think we had one of the best economies, and I think he even came close to balancing the budget. So who knew? Anyhow, I hope that answers your question, Dick. Let's see. They're all on the same team anyway. Yeah. Did you see? There was this fundraiser in New York, and it was Catholic based, and it was in the what was it called? But anyhow, it had everybody there. It had Trump there. It had everybody on the Democratic side. It had Chuck Schumer. It had comedians, and it was refreshing to see everybody kind of come together. Letitia James, who was the Attorney General for New York, was there. And then she was up here. Donald Trump was right there. And they're all having a good time, even though I'm pretty sure that's the one that brought those charges against. It was crazy. But you took a look at that and you realize that people aren't really so far off, I think. And it was good to see. I'll probably have to repost this on Twitter. They had Jim Gaffigan on, and he made fun of everybody. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was great. Trump roasted people. Trump got roasted. I did find it odd that Kamala Harris didn't show up. It's just very strange. Trump was pretty funny. Gervais for president. Somebody says Plan B wasn't right, and he called for 100,000, didn't work out, and then Foopy says more like Plan D for delusional. Hey man, if you say things are going to happen long enough, they do. It's the same thing that people have been talking about. We're going to get a recession. We're going to get a recession. Going to get a recession. It doesn't happen until like 2027. I'm like, see, I told you. What about Obama? I voted for Obama. I thought he was going to be a great president. But I got to tell you, if you want to look at like who deported the most people, there's a reason why they call him the deporter in chief. So, yeah, what are you going to do? But yeah, these things happen. But as time has gone on, as I get older, I don't I kind of wake up to the fact that politicians are all liars, and campaign promises are just that. They're just promises that people never keep. And that's why I don't vote anymore. And the fact that I'm in Puerto Rico, so I can't vote anyhow, which is going to be great. So again, whoever comes in, I will support that. You know, I remember Dave Chappelle when Trump got elected in 2016. He came on Saturday Night Live, and he was a big, big person that hated Trump. And he talked about it, or he disliked him greatly. And then he came in and he said, you know what? He goes, this is who got elected, so I'm going to support that person, and we're going to give him a chance. I was like, that's a great thing to say. Well, that took a wrong turn. And politics is entertainment division of industry. Very true. If I had Bitcoin at 3K, I would have sold at 10K. Exactly. I ever tell you the story about, I'm sure most of you know this, but like I was offered my son 500 Bitcoin for $500. This was a long time ago. And I said, what's a Bitcoin? And he told me, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense, Alan. It's gonna, you know, it's just internet nerd money. That'll never go anywhere. How things have changed, right? But yeah, if I would have bought $500 worth of Bitcoin for $500, I would have sold it as soon as it doubled. And that would have been it. Bill Burr is probably one of the greatest comedians alive. I love that guy. And Ricky Gervais. Chat has devolved into a political debate. I try to get around that because it's good to have a discussion about it, right? No problems. But then I think there's just people take it a little bit too much and they get hyped up. Let's just talk about how that this next bull run is going to be enormous, and we're all going to do quite well, I think, if we just stick around. That's really what we should focus on, because we can change that, right? There's things we can change, there's things we can't change. And me holding or taking profits on the way are things within my sphere of control. Outside of that, don't really have too much power. Yeah, George Carlin was a great one. Amen. Bitcoin. No, I haven't. Fox Savage says, have you checked any top indicators lately? Let's take a look. Let's see. I'm not a big TA guy, but here's one of my favorites. So the Pi Cycle Top has done a pretty good job. And it was created in 2019. It wasn't created in 2021 or 22 or 23. It was 2019. And it did a pretty good job. And what it does, it's when the 350-day moving average times 2 crosses over the 111-day moving average. And you can see that it did a good job, and it called it almost the T on 2017. It's actually hit 4 times. 2013, a double top. And then in 2017, and then it did okay. Actually did really good. It hit it at 58,000. So what everybody had been okay with selling all their Bitcoin at 58,000. Now it went up to 67,000. That probably hurt. But imagine if you bought in at like, I don't know, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. You sold it at 58. And then you see it come over here and you're like, damn it, 67,000. I'm an idiot. But then it goes all the way back down to 17. You probably feel pretty good. So like, to see where we're going, we're not even close. Yeah. Look how far away we are. So that's not looking too good. Let's take a look at the MVRV Z-score. Up, 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 up. MVRV. So what is this? So this compares the market value and realized value to order and assess when the market is either overvalued or undervalued. And it's nice and colorful. I like these colors. So look at this one. So the MVRV Z-score, market value versus realized value, and then Z-score kind of takes out all the little noise that we have. We did a pretty good job. Actually, if you would have sold around here, 20th of February 2021, you wouldn't have done too bad. Then you could have reaccumulated here, reaccumulated here. But it did a great job. Again, 2017, 2013s. And where are we at now? We're not even close, man. We're not even close. I just see it. And then if you want to put all these things together, this is why I like Ben's site. Let's just take a look at crypto risk indicators. Let's put them all together. Let's take total market cap risk, Bitcoin risk, logarithmic regression, fear and greed, Cowan corridor. I know what that is. Puel multiple, MVRV, MVRVZ, fees, and then the social risks, YouTube subscribers, views, Twitter followers, and blah, blah, blah. And we can see that we're not even close. The summary is at 0.348. I would start to really start getting out maybe at 0.6. Depends on where you want to go. What did this look like back in the day? Let's take wow, look at that. That's August. November. This is when we peaked out, man. Social metrics were at 0.923, not at 0.00 like they are now. On-chain metrics weren't 0.3, they were almost 0.7. Price was almost at 0.6. And then the summary, 73. So if you would have layered out like from here, oh man, it's even higher over here. Let's go back here. Actually, let's go back to let's take it 4 years back. Let's see where we're at. What's the day, the 20th? Come on, okay. Looks about the same, right? Social metrics a little bit higher. On-chain's about the same, and the price is about the same. And look where we went in just a short amount of time. If you would have started layering out around when it starts to redden up, you've been okay. Wow. Again, where we're at today. So, yeah, it doesn't look like, looks like we're far away from where we should be. Far away where we could be. I'll say that. Eric. Hey, Rob, I want to say congrats on the real estate purchase. Thanks. I'm buying a boat. Not as sound as your investment, but it is to me. Some people love boats, man. So, yeah, we'll see it. I sure hope so. It'll drag all my coins far higher. Yeah. Darren says, hey, Rob, how long have you been DCing Sweet? Not that long. I want to say it's got to be less than 2 months now. I didn't hit the lows at all. But, it's like Solana. Remember when Solana went from like $1 to like 25? And everybody's like, hey, I did a 25X. Don't buy it. It's already overvalued. And then I went to like 250. So, yeah. I think I'll do well. But again, the question we have to ask ourselves is how much money do we really need? I mean, how much do you need? That's the bigger question. That's a great question to leave off. All right, buddy, that's it for today. So again, like the video, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys coming on a Sunday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Adios.